My name is Shannon, and I'm just making this video to let people know why Katimavik was important to me. I did the program in 2005 to 2006. It was 9 months when I did it, and it was probably the most important experience of my life. I constantly am referring back to my time in Katimavik when I make decisions even now, and it has held an awful huge weight in my life. Before Katimavik, I never even considered going to university. I was not a very good student in high school. I applied to colleges because I thought, well, you're supposed to do that. I was told, you go to school, you get a job, you have a family, you have this set way of living. When I wasn't really sure that I even wanted to go to school, I hated the way the system was currently. I hated listening in a classroom. The whole thing gave me headaches. I talked to my parents and I said, I don't know what I want for my future. And my mother had heard over the radio about this experience, 9 months living away from home. You get to try out different types of jobs, and maybe it was a good opportunity for me to try something different. Having never spent any time away from home, any time away from my family, friends, things that were familiar to me, it was a very big leap of faith when I applied and got accepted. Immediately I was shipped off to Newfoundland to a place called Stephenville, which I had never heard of in my entire life. It ended up being an amazing placement. Now, I also went to Alfred, Ontario, and Shawinigan, Quebec, and for a lot of you guys who are listening to this, you would have never heard of these places before I mentioned them now. Nothing against you. Most of us don't pay attention in geography class, at least I didn't. And I also didn't pay attention in history either. I, once again, did not like school. Katimavik showed me a completely different way of learning. It was really impressive how much knowledge I gained just by being in these places, talking to the people, and trying out different experiences for myself. Workshops, and through living with people I never would have met without this program, it really added to my personality. I was not the kind of person who was very outgoing, outspoken. I was kind of quiet, often been called introverted. Before the program was cut, I was working for Katimavik doing presentations as pretty much my main source of income. And it's been amazing. I also learned in Katimavik all about how to speak French, about the whole culture of Quebec and how it is very different from anywhere else in Canada. Before Katimavik, I just thought, a bunch of French people that just want to separate. I had these really negative thoughts about an entire section, an entire province of our country, which now completely vanished because I understand that we have to make connections. If you don't speak the language, there's no way you're going to really be able to connect with those people. So I am grateful for that. When I finished Katimavik, I actually, because of the different work placements I had, I realized that I wanted to be a teacher. A radically huge change in my own thought process, as I never wanted to go to school at all, to being someone who is always going to be in the school system. For me, I thought this was important because I wanted to have the chance to work with students who, like myself, had a hard time in school, who weren't getting the same kind of education as everyone else. I wanted to bring what Katimavik brought to me, which was experiential learning. And this would be a hands-on learning process. And if I could bring more of that into the classroom and my own understanding of how classrooms don't work for everyone, that maybe we can foster an education in the youth that's out there today. I'm really proud of my achievements since then. I also learned a lot about goal setting, which sounds kind of silly, but it's important in life. And without Katimavik, I would never have gone to university. I just finished my bachelor's degree at the University of Toronto, accepted on the basis of having experience outside of my high school education. I didn't have the prerequisites for university, but because I talked to the bridging program and let them know that, yes, I did Katimavik. I was out there for 9 months, volunteering, working with different communities, learning another language. The university was super impressed with this. In fact, the guy on the phone that I spoke with told me that people like me, people with experience, are the kind of people that the schools want in their system, because they know that people like me will continue to work as hard as we possibly can because we've already been out there and we understand what we want from life. I do understand, and I thank Katimavik completely for that. So please, whoever's watching this, I really want you to consider how important it is to, if it's just one person like me, it could also be a lot of people.